Yeah, this song beautiful right here. Codecast, we're live. Phrase, R, M-Child, Celis, DS, Wells. You know, we're about to introduce you to something beautiful. You know, with us, you know, grind is a given. Either cooking something the chef or I'm spitting. Came from the bottom with nothing, the top chillin'. We do it for hood legends, those past are still living. With us, you know, grind is a given. Either cooking something the chef or I'm spitting. Came from the bottom with nothing, the top chillin'. We do it for hood legends, those past are still living. I'm trying to be well known.
Once again, grind is a given. All Shades Phrase featuring R. Brentwood RP. Let's go! This show was brought to you by Active Chiropractic Care, located in Comac, New York, and Aligned Posture leads for success to foster. Say the promo code SUPERSTAR15 and you will get a complimentary spinal examination that'll lead you on your journey for peak performance. This show was also brought to you by Long Island Fitness Experts Alliance. Get in contact with the Life Alliance trainer and you will be guaranteed to add life to your years. Personal trainer and coach Tim Malico has had a very extraordinary journey in the last few years. From overcoming numerous injuries and being uncertain about his path as a personal trainer to becoming a standard many have followed and emulated in the field of personal training. In this episode, Tim details his journey, the benefits of having mentors guide him to success, and shares his own interesting philosophy that led to his growth and development. Let's kick that good game, y'all. Tim, how's it going, my man?
Going pretty good.
Cool. So just, for the listeners and everything, just give us a, brief history about yourself.
All right. I've been a personal trainer for about 6 years now. It started when I was 15 years old, playing high school football, being in the weight room, not enjoying the way I looked and trying to better myself at a very early age. And just kind of, snowballed. Just started educating myself, reading books, and training my friends, and being at the weight room all the time, playing athletics, and found a passion, and just went from there. Always kept learning, and had my feet that didn't stop moving. It led me to all different places, and met mentors, friends, and now I am where I am now.
Nice, and let's talk about these mentors. Like what, it's one thing with people when they start out training, they kind of just go in blind and like they want to just be the man. Mm-hmm. It's a humble thing to, have a mentor, take that mentorship or be under a mentor. So what brought that along?
Thinking someone was looking after me, making the right decisions. It took a while for me wanting help. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have trouble accepting help. Constructive criticism, if you want to say, but I struggled with it. But more and more, I finally just realized that they're just trying to help you get over whatever faults that they did, failures, and the people that the mentors that people really want to help you, they just want to see you succeed. Right. And I have a few. The first one started when I was an amateur boxer, and my coach, George, he was, just more than boxing coach to me. He was a friend, a coach, whatever you want to say, and he taught me, relationship clients, how to run a business, a lot about patience in yourself. Everybody wants that instant gratification. I did too. Then I worked at different places. I worked at New York Sports Club, and I met you. I met Dave Ackerman, who you had on your podcast. Who else? Dave, you, George. At New York Sports Club, a person that gave me a lot of opportunities right now was fitness manager over there, Steve LaCicero. Believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Not a lot of people did. Took me under his wing. Really taught me the way. Basically showed me if you want to do it, you're going to have to bust your ass and put the work in. And he stuck with me all the way through. And he left, and he took me with him at Blink, and kind of blew up from there.
Yeah, let's talk about that Blink experience, man, because it was great to see, honestly. And Just, give the listeners, that story. That was like a roller coaster, right?
Yeah. I was at New York Sports Club for about a year. My very first, I worked at small gyms and studios, but that was, my first established club. And you have to learn how to build a business. And unfortunately, I didn't get the support that I need management-wise. And Cicero came in, and, he wanted to help. He really turned it around for not just me, everybody. But we built a bond, and I finally picked up, and I was doing well. And then, boom, he goes, Life always shows you curveballs, but you got to keep rolling with it. And at the time, I was actually thinking going to the military. I was all over the place. And, he said, if you want a job, I know you're trying to go to the military, but if you want a job, just let me know. Over at Blink, I haven't heard of it. So, went over there, and in 2 months, decided, that's it. I'm gonna do this. In 2 months, blew up.
Nice.
Out of a year, what I was doing in New York Sports Club, I doubled that in 2 months.
Nice.
I was one of the fastest ramping trainers in the company. It's a brand new company. It's owned by Equinox. Not a lot of guidance, kind of just, if you're a trainer, you have certification, throw you in. But that's where the help of the mentors came in, and everybody I had under my belt kind of showed me the way. And I kind of put the pieces together, and I really found myself who I was as a trainer. And had great opportunities. Was on TV, CW11. Got a couple articles published out. Met some incredible clients along the way that I really changed their lives, and they changed mine. And they're, to this day, I'm not over at Blink, I'm at Equinox now, but to this day, they're friends. And it definitely a stepping stone, Blink was. And I'm so glad I was there for about 2.5 years. Got to fitness manager for a little while, see that, corporate style aspect to it. It was just crazy. And, me never wanting to settle, I left. And I wanted to go bigger and better.
Right.
So, going from 150 sessions to full-time to 0, it's scary, but I know what I'm worth. I know what I can do, and, I went to Equinox just to learn. And, man, do they know their shit over there. They really do, and I'm learning I've been there for about almost a month and a half now, and the trainer I am now compared to that it's phenomenal.
Right. And imagine where you're going to be within 6 months or a year.
Yeah. No.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing in a great way.
Exactly. It's a scary thing in a great way, and the people that can help.
Right.
Because you just learn more, you go more in depth, and then you can handle more serious injuries, ailments. You just have more confidence.
Right.
And I only do this just to help people. That's why I'm a trainer.
Nice, man. Nice. It's about giving back, and the more you give back, the more you're gonna get in return. But you don't do it to get anything in return. You do it because you want to give back. No,
yeah, absolutely. And I started seeing this whole philosophy, not philosophy, but enlightenment path. Just evolving mind, body, and spirit, myself, and it's pretty crazy. And asking for the universe, the law of attraction, getting into that stuff. It's pretty crazy, what if you put your mind to it and you believe in yourself, what you can do and what can happen. And that's what I kind of strive for. I'm not just physical trainer. I like to call myself a coach. I won't say life coach, but a coach. I want them to be their friend. They can come to me, but you can be the greatest trainer in the world, but if that person doesn't believe in themselves or doesn't see the value in exercising, there's a mental gap, you're worth nothing. So you have to sometimes deal with what's going on in their head to get to their goals physically.
Right.
And I really started finding that was my way, building an emotional connection with people that lasted now, friends, lifelong friends, I hope. And you really see results like that because trainers, I feel like it's a revolving door for most trainers. And they don't build that connection. They just want to train and get out.
Right.
But when you build that connection, when you know what's driving that person, you're always going to make them have more and more goals. They're always going to want to keep bettering themselves just like you're bettering yourself. So it's a whole different ballgame.
No, absolutely. And I see, I was looking at the catalog of books, and I'm a man that loves to read. So how have these books impacted your training style?
Wow. I took a trip to San Diego, did a mentorship at Todd Durkin. I was very blessed to have that opportunity, and I hated reading. When I was a kid, high school, middle school, I never read anything. I didn't enjoy it. And after that seminar, I came back with about last September. It's almost September now. I just couldn't put down books.
Nice.
I just saw the value in them. I saw how they can help you, help in training. As you can see, there's a little bit more psychology, the mental aspect of it, than training. Because that's what I was trying to, I have a quote, if you can't lead one, you can't lead others. So
right.
If you can't lead yourself, or you're not, preaching what you teach, then you have no business talking to other people about it. So I really was, I went deep in myself and see what was my, roadblocks. What makes me, drive, and what's that mentality that I need? What's those limiting factors? Those questions I need to ask myself. And a lot of those books were just, I was like drooling over these books, because you got more and more out of them. And I was trying to figure different ways to read, turn it upside down, just like stupid stuff, just to try to get more out of it. And it was just crazy, I have some fables, I have, just psychology books, I have, all different kinds, just people that experiment. And then I started getting into training. I'm like, okay, awesome, I got a little bit of hold on this, now I want to focus on my training side and apply it.
Right.
And you can see there's a couple books there with training. There's some spirituality books, because I see that's another whole, believing in a higher power, having faith in something.
Right.
I started seeing and I was missing that, or it just kind of came to me. I'm like, you know what? I really want to dive into my religion, or
right.
any religion.
Right.
So that's kind of what I did. But I just kept reading. I still am, and just trying to better myself.
Nice, man. So let's talk about that Todd Durkin workshop. What was that like? Just overall, being it was West Coast, completely different. We're East Coast people,
Yeah.
Long Islanders, so it's a little different out there.
My first time on an airplane, going to the West Coast, it was absolutely incredible, life-changing. It really was a transformation time in my life. That I went there, and the people and the weather, the atmosphere, the health, the atmosphere of health, and wanting to do better for themselves or caring about others. It was incredible, and meeting Todd Durkin. It wasn't like a Tony Robbins where I actually saw him too, where it was like 7,000 people. This was a small unit of like 60 trainers from around the world. The culture was absolutely amazing too. The first time I ever experienced that. But to talk to this man and have him actually listen to you. He was so in-depth and so true to just himself, his energy, just his passion, what he loved to do. And he made a whole business out of it. Just a gym.
Right.
It's just a gym. And it was amazing to be around all those people. Really changed my life. And it wasn't just about training. It was about what you want to do in your life. How to do it. How to get it done. Read. Write. You see over there. I got my vision board. I got, my goals, my wins, my losses, my ahas, my goals I do every week. Just to keep you on track. Just to, you got to be in the moment, but you also got to kind of find what you can do better. And be a critic.
Right.
And that's what I learned from him, and I failed day in and day out.
Yeah.
But after a while, I struggled with it, but you're supposed to. Now
right.
I love failing. Just like at Equinox, there's people that have been doing it way longer than me and know much more. And I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to say something stupid, which I would have, because I just know I'll get to the answer that much faster.
Right.
And failing is learning, and I love it. It's a part of my whole process in my life.
No, absolutely. The problem, I think, with people with failing is we're taught in school that failure is bad.
Yep.
But in the school of life, you're supposed to fail. That's how you learn.
Mm-hmm. The school, I had such trouble in the school. I was not an academic student at all, because I was told I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart, dumb even. It just... the education system, and now I think it's backwards. teaching kids that grades matter, but it's actually just a learning process.
Right.
And what they want to do, and there should be more, education about, teamwork and communication skills and exercise. It was a struggle, and I'm very upset that it took this long to find that academic side of me, to actually believe I was smart, and for people to call me smart. That's an eye opener. I've done public speaking. I've done motivational talks and everything, and for people to raise their hand and ask me questions, I was like, who you asking me? I guess I know my stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
And but it's just, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that there's a way, and if you just want to make the right decision, you just always want to better yourself and help people along the way, you're just going to go down this path of, an incredible life. Incredible moments that, just keep coming.
I agree, man. I just want to touch on boxing a little bit. Being you said you're a former amateur boxer.
Yes.
Now, what are your thoughts on the current state of boxing? Do you think it's making a resurgence, or do you think it was always still relevant?
No, I think it's done.
You think it's done?
After that Mayweather and Pacquiao fight, it kind of, everybody now, it has to do with everything in life. People want instant gratification.
Right.
Nobody wants to work for anything. Nobody has patience.
Right.
And that's why people like MMA.
Right. A
lot of blood. A lot of fighting. You can't protect yourself. You can elbow, you can knee, you can do all this stuff. Get on the ground. It's in a cage. Kind of getting animalistic. They close the door. It's just, so you can't move around. Boxing, back in the day, how I was taught with my trainer, heavyweight, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, go back to Rocky Marciano, Jack Dempsey. These guys were fighters.
Yeah.
These guys, were in great shape, and they were big. They weren't Mayweather, Pacquiao side. These guys were like 200 and plus.
Yeah.
And they could move. Muhammad Ali, people think he was a lightweight.
Right.
He was a heavyweight.
Right.
And he can move like that. Float like butterflies, sting like a bee. It was just incredible. Such a different just state of the sport. People would die in that ring. These fighters, athletes, any athletes, care about money.
Yeah.
And it kind of, all sports, it kind of really takes, just disgusts me. Again, I barely can even watch sports anymore. Hockey is my number one right now, because they just play.
Yeah, they play all out.
These guys are athletes.
Yeah.
And, money is getting corrupt. They've had shutouts more than any other franchise, but it's just, that's the only sport I can watch right now, because, like, me and you, what we're trying to do, we love what we do, and if we get paid for it, that's just a blessing.
Right. Right.
On top of it. And for them to just think it's a game, and just, like, throw their money around when you see the world and how it is, it really just puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I think athletes have gotten jaded.
Yep.
Yeah, it happens.
Absolutely.
It happens in all professions. It's happened. We've seen it. Trainers that are just like, wow, this guy was the man, and now he's, or she, they're just comfortable.
Yep. Their values, who they have around them.
Yeah.
It all just comes, I think, from a state of being content with yourself.
Right.
And other people think money will make them happy, but it won't. Excuse me. It won't. Other things will get in the way or create, evolve from it, but, it is what it is.
I agree. And in terms of your workouts, what's your personal, what is your personal, style of training for yourself, for
evolving, as much as reading new things and articles, it's always changing. I've been broken. I would call myself, I have a lot of problems, with my body. I play high school football where I blew out my knee, pulled my groin, and they just were whipping me like a horse. I was starting wide receiver. And then on top of that, I was a waiter on the weekend. 30, 40-hour shifts in a weekend on your feet, carrying tables on just one side, loading. Just horrible. Really did damage to me. I actually had my first sciatica attack when I was 15. Didn't even know what it was. I reaching over a table and just, what was that? I couldn't even move. And bad. Over years, I started correcting and learning for myself what's the spine, what about the spine, getting adjusted, therapy work, release, mobility, activation of the muscles, and now I'm learning even more about the human body. Everybody just wants to do weight training, isolating the muscle groups, bodybuilding. Training's been around, 100 years around here or something like that, but in China, you go over there and thousand years and look at the styles.
Right.
Look at that. We want to be bigger, but if we go to China, we are big, but we can't move.
Right.
I like to go by Bruce Lee, flexibility and strength.
Yeah.
I don't care about size, but it's shoved in our face. Gotta get bigger, gotta be shredded, gotta be cut. And functional training is absolutely my number one. Learning how to use my body as a unit, strengthen the core, fire the glutes, because we sit on them all day, probably the most important parts of the human body. And just being functional, just, being able to do my job and feel energized, feel good, because every day I wake up and I'm just tight. And that's another way of how I can relate, though, to my clients. They look at me, they see a kid, and they're like, you don't know, you're going to kill me. I'm like, no, I know about back pain. I have sciatica. My right hip is 3 inches lower than my left. I put all my pressure on my one side. But, again, your failures you learn from, but also your experiences. And I'm glad I went down this road. It's a rough road. I'm glad I went down it because I want to be in the spot I am today.
Right.
I understand that I can kind of work with people and understand their limits, especially an older group. I do a lot of rehabilitation work and just have a better understanding of the human body, as some trainers, which is absolutely okay, might just want to build size and strength, power lifters, and that's absolutely fine. And then the boxing really correlates well with functional training. Because that's what it is. It's functional.
Right.
It's using your whole body together as a unit to, it's strength, it's power, it's cardiovascular, it's all in one. There's no better workout than boxing. And if you ever get a chance, do it. With a trained professional, because if you ever do the mitts, it's a whole new game, and it's fun, and you take stress out, and there's other ways around it instead of just I can't pick up a weight anymore. It's boring to me. Done it my whole life. Improperly.
Right.
But I can't. I look at them and I'm just like, With my clients, it's different.
Right.
They need it. And I know they need it. I love it. I love teaching them the proper way. They don't have to go down the path that I did.
Right.
But for me, it's more probably boxing. Boxing, functional training, core, and activation of the glutes. That's one of my favorite exercises to work on because it just makes you feel like you can run through a wall.
Nice. So how would you go about training a bodybuilder? If a bodybuilder wanted to come to you?
First thing, any athlete, it's not about how they look, it's about how they move.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta look at their movement patterns, and do, a movement screening. A squat, a lunge, a push-up. Just see how their body works together as a unit. Their shoulder mobility, simple things. Can they activate their core while they're doing a simple squat? Can they actually hinge their pelvis? Or are they just using all their legs and their back?
Right.
People don't understand it's not just when they say lift with your leg, not your back. Not necessarily you put the load in your hips. It's like a fulcrum. Our whole body's like a fulcrum. You want, weight, you want load on your legs, but you also want it in your hips, so you can carry it instead of just all in your legs and anteriorly pushing you forward. But I definitely would do a screening on them, see how they move as a person, and then go from there. See if they have asymmetries, any muscular imbalances, see where they're weak, because that's the biggest thing. That they want to get stronger, but those weaknesses are going to hold them back.
Right.
Their brain actually looks through a way to cheat. So it can cover up that weakness. And you get overcompensation, that's how you get injuries, whatever it is. So, I might not look like a bodybuilder, but I definitely can help one. And then it's just technique and form. And that's not that hard for anybody. Right. Just learn it.
Right.
I would go to a coach. I would have one of my friends who's a lifter teach me clean and jerk, teach me this, me do it myself because I will never do anything if I didn't do it myself first. Right. And then go about the right way. Because these people just want to bring that weight, point A to point B as fast as they can. But there's so much more in the process. And that's what a coach has to do. You have to watch out for their safety, their form, and be there to motivate.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So I would cut away bodybuilding.
Okay.
That's their goal.
Right.
So I would see that, okay, that's your goal. I don't care if you're a bodybuilder.
Right.
Your goal is to bench press 500. Okay, awesome. Are your legs strong? Just look at different angles.
Right.
The human body. Instead of just saying, all right, let's do, supersets. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then you get screw up. Then in 5 years, you're not even going to be able to move.
Right.
Your body's going to be completely forward, and it's not going to help. So I kind of also educate everybody. Because they want to do this, they want to have their goals, but I truly believe a good trainer, a good coach kind of alters them so they can help them along the way, look down the road. Right. Not just see, I can get you your goal. You want to you want to be 10% body fat? That's easy. But, if you just want to do cardio, we're not going to go about that way. I have a little different way I'm going to show you, and I'm going to spare your spine. So, right. You don't have to be hunched over the rest of your life or have kyphosis or lordosis or, have surgery, God forbid. So, it's a lot.
I love it, man. I love it. And I just want to touch on the Tony Robbins,
okay,
experience. What was that like?
Another huge mentor, another amazing experience. I walked on fire coals.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The
Nice.
First day, I didn't know anything about it. My friend who took me, offered me to go to California with him with Todd Durkin. Did the same thing here, and I was just like, jump on it. Just do it. I know. I don't care about the money. Just do it. And we're there. It's like 10 hours. You're in a room just sitting. Just sitting in a chair like me and you right now, and you're just listening to him. This guy just goes and talks. No bathroom breaks. No nothing. He's inhuman. And then at the end of the day, we got there I think 8 o'clock in the morning. 11 o'clock we get out at night. He's like, all right, we're going to walk on fire coals now, outside. And this was in the middle of winter. It's like a bad snowstorm in Jersey, under a fire, and a parking lot. And we're like, okay, pitch black, 7,000 people, and we're just chanting like maniacs because he gave us steps,
right.
To do. And we had to take off our shoes and everything. It's freezing. And just walked on it.
Nice.
And it was pretty incredible because it just shows you can do anything.
Right.
And I do mean anything. I don't care if, people think that's stupid, that doesn't make sense or whatever. You can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Right. It's true.
And, a whole nother experience. That was just more energy and just making life a playhouse. Just being a kid, whenever you're in an uncomfortable moment, you just kind of seize up, you have that voice inside of you, and instead of just you just burst out, you just scream at the top of the lungs, you just flex all your muscles. It's crazy, how he does it, and how he gets the most out of people, and then you have 7,000 people from all over the world doing it too. So you're pretty amped up.
Right.
And it's just an incredible experience. Almost so much where when you got back after 3 days, you feel like you're sick because you're not used to doing it.
Right.
And everybody, we're on Facebook page and we all stay connected. Do you feel sick? Do you feel this? Do you feel that? And it's just because you're using your body so intense that you're not used to it. We're used to sitting, and doing nothing, just getting by.
Right.
But that was just a whole different way of life.
Nice.
And I just gotta keep going. I just gotta keep doing those things. Those mentorships, those talks, lectures. Just keep meeting people that have done it, are leaders of their kind, their way, and learn from them. And kind of create your own path and create your own job.
Absolutely.
If you really want to. Sometimes people don't know what they want to do because they haven't made the job yet. That's kind of what I started looking at. I wanted to be this, I wanted to be that. And I'm like, you know what? I can mold them. I can do both. I can do anything. And that's kind of where I'm at now.
Nice, man. So I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of a visionary?
That's a good one. come up with this one? Someone that believes so much what they're doing in life that they're willing to die for it.
Wow.
Like, they don't care from their friends or families what they say. They know they're on a path, and they're going to do whatever it takes to see it through. Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, all these people, Harriet Tubman, all these people that put their lives on the line for what they believed in. And they didn't care about the consequences. Helping others along the way, and that's what we look up to nowadays, still today.
Right.
Everything keeps changing, evolving, technology, but we still look upon and try to uphold the values and the principles and the laws of our founding fathers, from some odd years ago. So I think, it's definitely something that you're willing to die for. Visionary.
Tim, I respect that, man. Where can my listeners reach you?
Reach me? I have a Facebook page at tim.malicopt at facebook.com. My email is tim.malicopt@gmail.com. You probably don't want my number. I work at Equinox in Great Neck. I'm around, if people want to get in touch with me or, ask me questions or, I want to reach out to them. Just find a way. I give you a business card if you have a website or whatever and you put it up. I just truly, and this is what I truly love, fitness professionals helping fitness professionals. Right. Professionals, people helping people.
Right.
Get to what they want to do in life.
Right.
And when you said you were doing the podcast, that's why I volunteered. Never did anything like this in my life, but I'm like, you know what, this is absolutely amazing because we're out there for the people, but you're out there for us. And that's pretty incredible, in my opinion.
Tim, thank you, man.
Oh, thank you. It was absolutely an honor.
Brother,
really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, man. More interviews to come from this, man, definitely.
Yo, we take a rap back to the East Coast. It's coming round back to the East Coast.
Yo, inspired by the music, got the world on my shoulders since a lad with a pad and a pen in his holster. Ride a rhyme, kill a track, ride a rhyme again, kill another track, it's done, time again. Stars got lyrics, I'm not a living legend, not yet, but I'm close, just give me a couple seconds. Then you'll be screaming, y'all want that old star. This upgrade upstart is so avant-garde. Won't sing in this position cause this style is different. Play close attention to the rhymes that I'm kicking. Rhymes that I kick though I always flip. Some will learn the martial law each time I spit around. Been doing this here since '96 to shine. Brighter than a solar flare, I am rare. With the visions of the mission that is really coming near. Got a feeling that is building up like krillin in a spare. When the feeling's off the krillin and only for the spare. I'm TM with 3 eyes, take a flight in the air. With my fingers on my temple and my vision so clear. Though I can't beat sell, I can make them feel fair. Hands shaped like a diamond, unmatched but so rare. Foreign league, it's all year, we in here, what? Yo, most cats respect, most cats gon' hate. Want me to acknowledge them, man. Y'all gon' win.